Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, just like last week, we're going to do the biggest losers of UFC Vegas 60, or number 60, or whatever. First on this has to be Maria Agapava, however you say that freaking last name. She's very long, very lanky, very good stand up, but her cardio is so bad, and she's always putting herself in these very, very bad positions. Like, she fights on the Dana White's Contender Series 3 years ago. Loses against Tracy Cortez. Then she goes to Invicta, wins a couple, comes to the UFC, beats Hannah Cyphers, and then is beating Shayna Dobson, loses that fight, I believe, in the second round, because she gassed, and then fights Sabina Mazo, looked really good in that fight. Then fights Marina Moraes, arm triangle choke, again, didn't look good. And then tonight she fought Jillian Robertson, I think they pronounce it, and first round looked decent, her striking looked pretty good, but second round she gets wild, gets caught, and then gets submitted, gets put to sleep. And it's just, I feel like with her, there's so much potential there, and she's only 25 years old, but you gotta think probably the end of the road for Maria Agapava. She's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 and 4, 2 and 4 in the UFC. So maybe the UFC gives her another chance, but being finished in all of her losses besides the Dana White's Contender Series 3 years ago against Tracy Cortez, besides that, being finished in all of her losses, probably the end of the road for her in the UFC. Then we got Cameron Van Camp, and this is 2 fights in a row that he is looking good. Even in his fight previously, he looked good, rocked the guy, and then just took, I think, 2 left hooks back to back. Didn't change, just did the exact same thing. 2 literally back to back. Gets caught, gets KO'd. Fights Nicholas Mota is looking pretty good, and he's getting caught with this loopy left hand over and over and over, and then he gets caught once, and then he's done. So I can't imagine the UFC keeps him around. Maybe they do, but probably the end of the road also for him. And then our next person is Alan Amendovsky, and I mean, what really can you say? Came in the UFC 8-0. Came in the UFC 8-0, knocking out Will Fleury and Bellator, knocking out Ibrahim Maney, knocking him out, and looked good. A lot of hype behind him. Then fights Jocko. He didn't look terrible. He just lost. And then he fights John Phillips and gets actually KO'd in 17 seconds. His bread and butter, all by KO. And he gets knocked out by John Phillips. And then they still give him another chance against Joseph Holmes. Pushes the action too much, gets caught in, I believe, a rear naked choke, loses the fight. And then tonight he fights Joseph Pfeiffer and looks good, decent. He looks decent early. He is taking his time, all this. And then as soon as Joseph Pfeiffer turns it on, finishes him. And there's no chance the UFC keeps him. I expect tonight or early tomorrow to figure out that he is off that UFC roster. So pretty unfortunate. It always sucks seeing somebody's back against the wall and then go out like that. And then lastly, I think the last biggest loser of this fight card and all that is Tana Boza. And I mean that with all the respect, honestly. He just, he comes in the UFC at 16-5, beats Daniel Spites, and then loses to Cyril Gane. No shame there. No shame. Then KOs Philip Lins, then finishes Rafael Paso, and then loses to Andrei Arlovsky, Alir Latifi, beats Ovin St. Preux. I believe we thought that he beat Alir Latifi, or I thought he beat him. and then finishes OSP. But even in that fight, he grabbed the fence, and when he got taken down, grabbed the fence, got up, and then ended up KOing the guy, OSP. And then Rodrigo Nascimento, he looked good on the feet, he just could not stop that takedown. And my biggest issue with that is he comes in so light, and he's so good with using his speed and his movement and stuff like that. Has good chin, he's all those things. But honestly, I think he is going to be saved because of the fact that he is a heavyweight, and I just don't really know what more we can expect. And I mean, Nascimento honestly could also be on this list. Honestly, he's only 31. Tana Boza is. He's not getting finished. He has a couple split decision losses like tonight. The reason why he's on this list is just how disappointing and getting himself in these bad positions, especially tonight against Nascimento. I just wanted to see more. I wanted to see more. I wanted him to do better, and he just could not stop that takedown. And really, he wasn't even trying to get up. I understand the risk and the reward. I do understand that. And I did think he won tonight. I feel like the only reason why he's going to be saved is because he's a heavyweight. And that's why he's on this list. But as always, guys, hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you agree. If you don't agree, let's talk about it. As always, peace.